what's up guys? It's the beginning of ContemporaryAthon. I filmed a TBR, but so much changed between filming and when the ContemporaryAthon started this morning that I didn't edit it and put it up. So I'm starting the vlog off by telling you what I'm reading for ContemporaryAthon. You like this wide angle look at my mess of a bookshelf that I need to organize. Anyway, so ContemporaryAthon starts today, Monday the 10th, and it goes through the 16th. It's hosted by Chelsea, Julie, and Natasha. ContemporaryAthon's been going on forever, so you probably already know that. I will have them linked all down below. The prompts this round are to read a contemporary with green on the cover, to read a new to you author, to read a diverse book. Keep in mind that it is Black History Month, which is what I did for my TBR. A backlist contemporary, which is defined as a book that has been on your TBR for a while. A dark or hard-hitting contemporary, an illustrated cover, and a book that's beloved by the community. So here is what I am going to do. First and foremost, I do have an audiobook that I intend to read, which is a reread for me, and that is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. It's a very, very short audiobook. I think it's like 3 hours and some minutes, so I should get it through it like in a day. That is a reread for me. It was one of my top 10 in 2018, and it's a book I consider beloved by the community. Also covers the diverse topic. Technically it's backlist, though I have read it before, with an illustrated cover. I'm sure it has green on the cover, etc. What I am reading via ebook is my hold on Karen McManus's One of Us is Next. That came in like a couple days ago, so I figured I'll throw that into the ContemporaryAthon TBR. It is the sequel to One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, which came out a year or two ago at this point. She writes YA thrillers, and this sequel has to, if you've read the first one, it's about a group of high schoolers that are in like a detention when one of the students dies, and so they're all, because they were there with him, looked at as suspects. This sequel features like all of their siblings, or at least some of the siblings of the characters in the first one. I don't really know. I read a chapter last night before bed, and I don't really know what the main plot point will be. Like, what are we trying to figure out? But it's reading like a Karen McManus book. All of her books in the past, I've read both One of Us is Lying as well as Two Can Keep a Secret, and they're very fast-paced. This one seems a little heftier. The paragraphs are a lot longer, so I don't know if it's one of those symptoms where like a writer gets their groove in writing and starts becoming a lot more wordy. That's what it feels like so far. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Now let's get into my physical TBR. I don't know what that covers, by the way. That covers probably illustrated and diverse because some of the characters are diverse. As for my physical TBR, the book I started this morning is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. This covers diverse. The author is a Black woman, as well as one of the two main characters in this book is a young 25-year-old Black woman who is the babysitter for a very rich white family. This is, as you can see, a Reese Witherspoon book club book. It's had a lot of hype, and I haven't heard anything bad about it so far. It is a book that should also be hard-hitting, I would imagine, because it is a book about how, like, the inherent racism within the white family that has hired this Black nanny, as well as outsiders. The first chapter that I read this morning is literally that main character Amira is the 25-year-old, and she's at her best friend's birthday party when she gets a call from the woman she babysits for, who's like, something happened, I need you to come take my toddler and get her out of the house while we deal with the cops. So Amira goes and gets her, and she's dressed up for this, like, to go like bar hopping and clubbing. It's not a babysitting appropriate outfit, but the woman does not care about that. The mother's name is Alex. So she gets the toddler, takes her to the grocery store, and the security guard, as well as a well-meaning citizen, confronts her about whether that's really her kid, and like, where's the mother and what is she doing, and they don't believe her because of her outfit, and that's the opening scene. So it was pretty, I was getting ragey about it. So I'm excited to see what this has in store, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty rough read. Keeping with that theme, I am also going to read The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi Dare. This is a story about a Nigerian girl who wants education more than anything in life, but she's got the kind of parents, well, her mom wants her to get an education, but her dad wants to sell her off as a wife for money, and he succeeds in doing so. And she becomes, I believe, the third wife of this white man that, I think he's white. I'll let you know when I get to it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not confident. I'll be honest. I'm not confident. She gets married off to this guy so that she can bear his sons, and she just wants nothing more than an education. So I think she runs away from that situation. The book, I'm intrigued. I did read a tiny sample of it because it is written phonetically the way that she thinks in her head. So I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I've read that as she gets more educated and grows, the writing style also matures because you're inside her head. So I'm very fascinated to see how this book goes. These are both obviously going to cover diverse reads. This author is Nigerian, so Black History Month covered with both of these. I'm also just trying generally to read Black authors this month as much as I can and own in my TBR. So I think that covers everything, because we've got illustrated titles galore. I've got green on the cover, her dress. They're all new to me author, beloved by the community. The Poet X does count, but also I got this in the mail yesterday from Chelsea for my birthday. This is Heartstopper Volume 2. I did reread Heartstopper Volume 1 yesterday to refresh because I have not read this yet. Illustrated cover. I feel like so many people love the Heartstopper graphic novel series, and so like I can name a ton of people. Obviously Chelsea loves it, and I know Cody at Cody's Book Corner loves it, and I know that Rami is a big fan of Alice Oseman's entire work. So lots of people really love this, and it'll be nice to add to my pile of books to read. But that's it. I already worked out for the day, so I'm gonna go downstairs and drink my protein shake and maybe read some more. And the next update you will get from me is when I have something to say about what I've been reading. So happy ContemporaryAthon. I love this week. It's been a while since I vlogged, so let's do this. All right, see you soon. We're doing a weird car update. What day is this? Wednesday. I don't know what day that is, like 12th? In any case, I gotta run some errands because we have no groceries. I used to get grocery delivery, and we just got an email yesterday that the company is closing. So now I get to go do grocery shopping like the rest of the world does and have to do it in person. So I'm about to go do that. My eating has been a little off the rails because of my birthday, and for those of you that like are around and have been around know that I am pretty into health and fitness. It's like one of my top 3 favorite things in the world aside from reading and BTS, and I need to get back on my A game. So we are going grocery shopping. I have to go to Target. I barely read this morning. I spilled my coffee on my book, Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed, which is really sad because it's the book I got myself for my birthday using a gift card, and I ruined the cover and I ruined the top pages, like the top of the pages in the book, and some of the binding that is black bled onto the dust jacket. Like the one time I don't take my dust jacket off to read a book and I ruin it. I'm reading that. I'm about 100 pages in, just under 100 pages in, which is about a third of the book, I want to say. I'm liking it. It's moving a little slow and I'm not really sure where it's going. We're seeing both perspectives of the babysitter, Mira, as well as the mother that she babysits for, whose name is Alex. And Alex is trying to get to know Amira, and there's not really a reason why yet, except that I think she's feeling displaced as a mother, and she wants to kind of like live vicariously through this 25-year-old that babysits for her. Except what you're starting to see is the like inherent racism that is within Alex and her husband. For example, there's a line about Amira using the word connoisseur, and Alex's first reaction in her head is to think, wow, that's like a big word for her, and then being like, why did I think that? I know she's educated and intelligent. I shouldn't have thought that at all. And it's that kind of like, when you're in Alex's head, that's the process you're hearing. And Amira's just, when you're in her head, she's just trying to live her life. I'm really liking the chapters about Amira, and Alex is kind of dragging a little bit. And I don't know, it's definitely intentional, and I think it has a lot to do with each character specifically. But I think because Amira is more in the own voices category, as Kylie is a Black woman, you're getting a more believable and relatable character. And that's the whole point of the book, I think. So I'll update you more as I go. but not a lot has happened so far in the book. I finished Heartstopper Volume 2 yesterday, gave it 5 stars. It's such a cute story. I don't have a favorite between Nick and Charlie because they're both just cute, soft little cinnamon roll dudes, and I really like them. And I can't wait to read Volume 3. I think it's accessible online. If so, maybe I'll read it for this Contemporary-a-thon because I'm not reading as much as I thought I would because 2 of my kids are sick. What else is new? It's the winter. Parents understand. There's just a rotating illness forever once you have kids. There's a noise happening and I don't want it to be on my camera, so I'm going to cut it off here and I will update you guys later. Hey, just wanted to do a quick update. I'm going to take a bath in a second. Maybe read, but I don't know. Because right now I'm reading. I want to show you all the coffee. Fucking wrecked it. In any case, I'm bored. Nothing's happening. It's like the one storyline that's actually interesting is Amira's storyline, and hers are very short, and it's like clipped instances of her going out with her friends, or like the small little problems she has in her life, like being 25 and watching all of her friends get jobs and their own places and like all these successful things, and she's like, I'm still babysitting and transcribing, and what am I gonna do when I'm off my parents' insurance next year, and things like that. But it's relatable and the voice is very strong and her character is super good. And then we flip over to Alex and she's just irritating, and you're getting this background story of her like childhood and why she is the way that she is. But she's boring. She's super boring, and her chapters are super long, and the paragraphs are super wordy, and it's not, the writing is well done. I think the writing is very good. There's not a whole lot happening. There's like one overarching story plot line that's going on in this book that is kind of the reason that you're pushing through, because you want to see when it culminates into something, when the catalyst actually strikes. You want to see what's going to happen, the fallout of it, but it's like such a minuscule thing that I don't even really care all that much. I'm on page 140 and I believe the book is 300 pages long. I thought about pausing on this to pick up this because I have a feeling this is going to be a lot more up my alley right now, but I also think that if I put this down right now, I won't finish it. Because at the end of Contemporary-a-thon, I'm diving into The King of Crows. It'll be hard to follow that with anything else, especially a book that I've not finished and set aside. But I just wanted to give you an update. That's where I'm at about halfway. At the halfway point, I just don't really care. It's going to be a 3-star unless something really exciting happens in the second half, which sucks. Alas. All right, I'm going to go do what I got to do, and I'll update you when I have an update later in the week. It's still Wednesday. Nothing exciting to update about. All right. Update on Contemporary-a-thon. I finished my 3rd read of Contemporary-a-thon, and that is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. The last update I think I gave you, well, I was at 140 pages, which is almost exactly halfway through, and I was really bored, and the boredom remained through the whole book. I mentioned there being like a storyline that had kind of this edge to it that you're waiting for the shoe to drop, and I kept expecting the shoe to be carried and through the story and drop at the end and it be a much bigger thing than it was, but it wasn't. It was just like the start of a catalyst to the next big problem. That's not saying a whole lot for the plot of the story because I can't really tell you without giving the only thing that really happens throughout this book away. I give it a 3-star. So it seems like an unpopular opinion. People seem to be mostly giving it 4 stars, but the boredom factor, the inability for me to connect to any character outside of Amira, and even that felt a little bit like there wasn't a whole lot of depth to any of the characters. And I think that the writer did a very good job. This is their debut novel, so like all things said and done, it's a really good read, and I would anticipate reading further publications from this author, but I just couldn't get invested. So the storyline itself, the idea of the author tackling the inherent racism that white people specifically have within them, even when they think they're woke or not racist, it's handled really well. You've got 2 characters that both have this level of prejudice and racism within them in the actions that they do and the way that they treat people of color. And I think that the way that those things are handled, and which is really and truly the whole point of this book, the reason it is as popular as it is right now, the reason it's poignant, is all because of that study within the novel, and I think that's handled very well. My issue is more with the depth of characters, as well as like really caring about what was happening. I did care about Amira and what happened to her, mostly because Amira and the toddler that she babysits have this really, really adorable relationship. It's a very heartwarming thing, and any scene with the two of them pulled you into the story. But I think I mentioned before, her employer, the toddler's mother, Alex / Alix, she like changes her name at some point in her life to be more hip and different for her company. It's like, whatever. I really didn't like Alex at all, and all of her justifications for the things she did and the way she thought just weren't. I didn't buy it. I don't know. Some of the things that she did, like as I said before, the inherent way that she thought and treated Amira, definitely I can see it happening, and I've experienced it myself internally, like things that we're always working on every day. But hers was like over the top, and then she was just kind of over the top, generally speaking. And in the end, the ending fell kind of flat. I'm not recommending it. I definitely think that it's worth reading if this sounds fascinating to you. And again, I seem to be in the minority to give it less than a 4-star, but it also is brand new. It's less than a month old, so we'll see what happens when people start picking it up. But that's it. That's my third book of the readathon. I did start and pick up The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abidare, which is another of my intended reads, but honestly, I'm at this point right now in the week where like King of Crows by Libba Bray is really calling to me. The fact that it's been sitting on my shelf since like February 5th, thanks to Lacey. I might struggle through the end of ContemporaryAthon. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna close the vlog insofar as like the first 4 days. I'll have the second part up as a weekend vlog, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today is Thursday. We're getting close to dinner time. I guess you'll have to find out if I carry on with my intended TBR or I go completely off the rails and read something that is not contemporary at all. That said, I am still listening to an audiobook that is contemporary, which is, why can't I think of it right now? Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I've got about 2 hours left in the audiobook, maybe 2.5 hours left in the audiobook, so I should be able to finish that tomorrow, and then I might just roll right into the sequel of it and keep up with that contemporary aspect of the ContemporaryAthon. But stick around to find out next week how that all played out. So far I've read 3 contemporaries. I'm pretty sure I covered everything that I needed to for the challenges, but we'll see what else I can tackle through the weekend. That is it for me. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you are new here and would like to see more content from me. I post all of my social media. You can find me on Twitter and Goodreads and Instagram. Let me know down below if you are actively participating in ContemporaryAthon and what you have read so far. If you've read any of the 3 books that I have, which to recap is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, Heartbreaker Volume 2 by Alice Oseman, Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. Oh, and I'm also reading One of Us Is Next by Karen McManus, but I'm not far enough in to give an opinion yet. I thought about setting it aside because I wasn't feeling it in the first chapter, and now I'm feeling it. So that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend.